Hello everyone, this is part 2 of What If Naruto Got a New Teacher After Training Trip, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Desara smirks as she slowly pulls on some leather gloves with metal knuckles. Itachi looks at her gloves, then slowly at her face. I don't see why you didn't join us. You could have been made a fine member of the Akatsuki. Itachi whispers in a low deep tone. Why would I join you if I could beat you easily? I mean no offense, well, okay, a big offense, you guys suck. You Itachi, of course, are the weakest of them all. You know Itachi, I think you wanted me to join you because you knew that I could beat you. Desara smirks as Itachi growls. Does that piss you off? Desara asks sarcastically. You're not very smart for not keeping your tongue in your mouth, he growls as she puts her hands on her hips. You act as if you can beat me, then prove it, Itachi whispers in his deep dark voice. And you're not smart for being here, you know your Sharingan doesn't work on me. You can't trap me in that damn genjutsu either, nor copy my moves, so you don't really know anything about me, Desara smirks. We've studied you and I've done my homework, he whispers. I've come for the boys, and to K you. Wait, what did Sensei mean by the Sharingan won't work on her? Hinata looks up at Toma. Naruto looks from Desara to Toma, then at Hinata. Her bloodline has always been blessed with protection against the Sharingan. You see her eyes are similar to the Byakugan, but then they're not. Toma looks at them both as he speaks, then looks towards Desara. You see, she can see through genjutsu so well that it doesn't even affect her anymore. The Sharingan is another thing to hers. You see, her eyes can block the Sharingan from copying moves from them, and it proves the Mangekyou Sharingan useless. Toma smiles at him. She should have him beat. He looks towards Desara and Itachi, because she has the Harugan on her side. Wow, I never knew such a bloodline existed. Naruto watches Desara surprisingly. Hinata watches closely as Desara slowly begins to circle Itachi. You know Itachi, I haven't had a fight in a while now, maybe you're a good way to start off. Desara says as she readies her hands for some hand signs. And if I reach your students, I know the older boy can handle me for a little, but the other two are pathetic, Itachi states confidently. 1. You won't reach them, cause I'll K you, and 2. They're not pathetic, it's just their skills haven't been honed, and that's none of your business. Desara charges at Itachi while doing hand signs. Itachi gets out of the way with no effort but notices fire flowing out of her after he goes to dodge. She quickly turns and him into the air with the hand that was on fire. Itachi backflips and lands on his feet. He wipes off his jaw and smirks. Good way to start, he whispers as he goes through some hand signs. He smirks as a giant phoenix appears behind him. As the phoenix flies in for the attack, she does some quick hand signs. A wall of water emerges in front of her from the ground. As soon as the phoenix gets close to the wall, the water attacks as if it's alive. You won't get me with those cheap tricks. Desara smiles wickedly as Itachi goes through some more hand signs quickly as a hand of earth come out of the ground beneath Desara. She runs through some more hand signs as Itachi does also. The Grim Reaper flies at Itachi as his new Grim Reaper flies at hers. There's a crash, then both Reapers disappear as Itachi and Desara charge at each other while doing hand signs. His hand punches hers, his covered in fire and hers covered in stone. She shoves him back, then plants a kick to his stomach to send him flying backwards. Itachi gets up and smirks. What fun this is, he whispers as he runs through some hand signs yet again. Desara stands there ready to evade when she hears a yell behind her. She quickly turns to find a big hand of earth grab each of her students. She turns to Itachi. You bastard, you're cheating, that's another thing I dislike about your group, you don't even fight fair. Desara growls and spits on the ground. I hate to fight fair, it's hard otherwise and it makes it so much easier this way. Itachi smirks as the hands tighten the grips. Toma goes to do some hand signs as a hand wraps around his and squeezes tight. Toma closes his eyes in pain. Desara faces Itachi and prepares herself. She runs through some hand signs quickly as Itachi runs through some also. A giant angel appears behind Dasara as a demon of fire appears behind Itachi. The angel flies at Itachi ready to strike as the demon jumps in front of him. The spear begins to suck out his chakra as he quickly backs off. The hands holding the others disappears as he jumps back away from Dasara. He goes through some hand signs while she quickly looks over her shoulder to see if her students were okay. As she turns back around, a large sword of fire punctures her shoulder. Itachi stands there at the other side of the sword holding it firmly. I told you not to turn your back before in the past, didn't I? Itachi smirks. I don't see why you think I'll ever listen to you, but I think you're going to lose. Dasara yanks the sword out as she runs through some hand signs. I'll be back for you demons, and I will KO you next time, Dasara. Itachi growls as he disappears. Dasara sensei. They all run over to her as she falls to the ground. Toma catches her. They all kneel around her and check to see if she's okay. I'm fine, she says as they crowd around her. Back off, you're all too close for comfort. She yells as they slowly back away. I'll be fine, I was just a little careless, that's all. Next time I won't make the same mistake. Dasara smiles as Hinata sighs. We need to get her inside. Hinata gets to her feet. Come on Naruto, we need to go get the medical supplies ready. Hinata runs inside quickly. Naruto looks at Dasara. Does he do this a lot? Naruto asks. No Naruto, they usually send others. That's the first time Itachi has ever come to me. I mean, it's an honor to have some crazy psycho after you. She laughs lightly. Now hurry inside and help Hinata. Naruto, don't worry, Toma can carry me. She smiles as he frowns and runs inside. They must be getting desperate to send Itachi. Toma lifts her up onto his back. Yeah, I mean, neither of us won the battle, but if it would have continued it would have been close. Dasara whispers. Yeah, it would have been worse also if they would have sent another person with him. Toma starts inside as the others prepare the supplies. Do you think they called him back on purpose or because this was only a decoy? I think it was a decoy to see what I can manage or to find my weak spots. He definitely wouldn't have left if they called him. He was too into the battle. Dasara looks at Toma. But I don't think they were too successful. Or was it? I mean, he attacked us, and it got you mad, which means he hit a nerve which he'll use against you next time. Not if he can't. The next time we meet you'll all be able to defend of those bastards' attacks, all of their attacks even. Dasara states. They awoke to birds that morning. Dasara had let them sleep in due to the night before, for she was tired herself. Naruto was up early training with Hinata on the techniques they thought would be useful from the scrolls that Dasara was letting them study from while she recovered. They took turns watching her even though she insisted that she was fine and that training should resume. They all pressured her into staying in bed. At the moment it was hard for her to fight off 3 Chunin. Toma watched her in the morning while the other 2 trained, then Naruto watched her in the afternoon and Hinata watched her in the night since she shared a room with her. Hinata, I believe that this one will help, what do you think? Naruto asks Hinata, who sits right next to him. She had been blushing the whole morning but he paid no attention. Hinata looks at the scroll that Naruto is examining. I think that's work, Naruto-kun, it looks interesting. She smiles as he smiles at her. What? She asks when the boy next to her gives her a big grin. You're stuttering again, Hina-chan, and you're dark red. Naruto smiles at her, then looks back at his scroll in his hands. Oh, she whispers. She looks away from him to try to calm herself, but it doesn't work. That looks interesting, Naruto-kun, you should try to learn it. She whispers. You know, Hina-chan, I was wondering if I could ask you something. Naruto says as he continues to look over the scroll. Why yes, Naruto-kun. She whispers and looks up at him. He looks at her and smiles warmly and she relaxes slightly. Why do you always blush in front of me? Or when you're near me? Or what about your stuttering? You only do it when you're around me. He asks while looking into the pale lavender eyes of hers. Well, are you She looks down at the ground but he gently tilts her chin up yet again. Tell me, Hina-chan, I'd like to know, he blushes slightly. She quickly looks away when Toma calls Naruto's name. Naruto gets to his feet and walks away and into the building. Hinata sighs as he walks away. I still can't do it, Hinata whispers as he disappears from view. Toma met Naruto in the hallway as Naruto came up to the room. Toma smiled at the boy who ran up the stairs ready to do his duty for his sensei. Naruto smiles as Toma hurries away, not wanting to stay any longer. Naruto watches him run away as he heads in the room to find Dasara up and about. Naruto sighs. "You're not supposed to be up," he says as he approaches her. She begins to back away. "Stay away," she cries as she tries to run away, but he catches her by grabbing her arm and he pulls her to the bed and makes her sit on it. "We told you to stay, your injury will open up if you move too much and I don't want to have to constrain you," Naruto says. Dasara sighs as she lies back down on the bed. "I hate how you guys care so much," she whispers. "Well, deal with it." Naruto sits in the chair near the window. He looks out to find Hinata and Toma working on the holy arts as Toma uses his hand signs to demonstrate. When she messes up, Naruto sees Toma put his hands on hers to help her do the signs and Naruto eyes the blush on her cheeks. Naruto quickly looks away as he tries to figure out what he's feeling deep inside as he looks back outside. Dasara watches him curiously as she notices his temper rising. "Naruto," she whispers and he looks at her. "Did Kakashi or Jiraiya talk to you about jealousy?" He looks at her while being confused at the question. "I guess not." "Well, you see, when you like someone you tend to get jealous when someone flirts with them or the opposite looks at them wrong or speaks to them. Right now you're feeling jealousy towards Toma because you like Hinata and he's near her." "No, I'm not. Why would I be jealous of Toma?" Naruto looks down at the floor while blushing. "Naruto, don't try to hide it. Come on, all you have to do is talk to her about your feelings." She smiles as he looks back up at her. "But what if Hina-chan doesn't feel the same?" he asks, and Dasara laughs lightly at his comment. "Don't worry about it. She'll be overwhelmed when you talk to her about it. You'll see what I mean when you do talk to her." Dasara smiles happily as the boy sitting next to her gives her a wide grin that she had never seen before. "Well then, go out and talk to her." "I can't." He looks at her. "Why not?" she asks quickly. "You'll run away, and I can't let you." "Oh, well then I promise not to run away. Now go." She shoos him out of the room and watches Toma and Hinata with curiosity. Naruto slowly goes down the stairs while trying to think up what he should say to her, but nothing comes to mind as he goes out to say the thing he's never said before to anyone. "I love you." Naruto slowly emerged from the building to where Hinata and Toma were training. Naruto became enraged for some reasons, his thoughts still filled with what he had to tell her, as Toma had his arms around Hinata and his hand on hers. Her back was pressed to Toma's chest and he gently showed her the hand signs from behind. Though Toma was doing nothing wrong, Naruto felt the urge to tackle him to the ground. Naruto slowly approached his comrades trying to keep his cool. Was this what Dasara meant by jealousy? "Hi you guys." Naruto smiles warmly at him, hiding his rage in his actions. "So Toma, can I pull Hina-chan away really quick? I need to tell her something that Dasara-sensei told me to tell her." Naruto lied through his teeth, but he didn't care. "Sure." Toma backs away from Hinata. Hinata blushes slightly as she turns to face Naruto. Toma looks at Naruto and smiles. "Just have her back soon. We have a lot to cover in this lesson." "Alright, I will." Naruto begins to walk away as Hinata follows closely behind, wondering what Dasara would want of her due to her injuries. "What does Dasara-sensei need, Naruto?" Hinata asks as he stops and faces her. "Well, Dasara-sensei said I needed to speak up to you and talk to you about the blushing and stuff." His voice gets quieter as he speaks. And his blush gets brighter as he looks at her. "You see, Hina-chan, Dasara-sensei confronted me about something and I need to talk to you. You're like the only one I trust while we're out here." "Oh, I see, Naruto-kun," she whispers and looks down to the ground. "I thought it might have been something else." "What else could it have been?" he asks and gently tips her chin up with 2 fingers. Her blush gets deeper. "I have to speak to you about my feelings. I'm not good at talking about them, but I'd like it if you could just listen to what I have to say." "Of course I'll listen, Naruto-kun," she smiles. "Why wouldn't I ever listen to you?" "I don't know. I don't even know why I doubted you for a moment." He smiles and removes his hand from her face. As he does, Hinata begins to think and wish that it would stay where it was. "Dasara-sensei confronted me on something that had been distracting me since we left Konoha." "Are you talking about leaving Konoha? Was that what has been bothering Naruto-kun?" she asks as she thinks to herself all the things it could be, one of them being herself. "No. I entrusted Neji to watch over Konoha while we were away. It's an entirely different matter. He sighs but then smiles when a look of worry appears on her face. She relaxes as he smiles, but her mind still wanders to all the things he could be thinking about. But if it's not that, then what is it, Naruto-kun? She asks as he looks to the ground, blushing madly. Well, Hina-chan. It's just that I really like you, and I just realized it on this trip. He whispers so quiet that she can't even hear him. What did you say, Naruto? I couldn't hear you. She watches as he lifts his head. She notices his blush and her choices in her head begin to narrow down. I didn't say anything, Hinata. You should get back to training with Toma. Naruto sighs at how pathetic he is. Are you sure, Naruto? She asks and puts a hand on his shoulder. Yeah, go on ahead. You got a lot of work to do. He smiles an empty smile at her. She notices it but runs off back to where Toma is to train. Naruto slowly follows, his head hung low in defeat. The day passed slowly after the event that took place with her students as Dasara sat in the windowsill watching all three of them work on the jutsus in the scrolls she gave them to practice. As Naruto worked on some of the lightning jutsus, Toma began to help Hinata again with the holy arts. As Toma helped her, Naruto gave Toma some evil looks. Luckily Toma didn't notice, was all Dasara could think about. Hinata began summoning an angel to heal, but after a half an hour of summoning it over and over again, Hinata rested under a tree regaining her chakra as Toma joined Naruto. As they worked together, Toma would look over at Hinata occasionally, and all Naruto could do was ask a question to get his attention away from Hinata, but he was slowly running out of questions and options. Toma smiled at Hinata, and for Naruto that was the last straw. Naruto whistled to get both of their attention. Stop looking over at Hina-chan. Naruto growled lightly. Why? I'm just checking to see if she's fine. Toma says innocently. Yeah, right, she's been fine every single time that you look. You should have stopped after 3 at least. She's strong, she can handle herself. Naruto said with a little anger coating his voice. Hinata stares up at them as Toma and Naruto turn to face each other. I can tell that you're checking her out, you don't even know her, so back off. Naruto growls. Kid, don't jump to conclusions. Kyuubi yells at Naruto. Shut up, Fox. This is my business, not yours. Naruto yells back at the Kyuubi, and with that Kyuubi disappears. Now Naruto, what were you saying? Toma asks, his temper beginning to slowly rise from being accused of something Naruto shouldn't understand. I said you need to stop checking out Hina-chan. And if I say no? Toma smirks as Naruto begins to turn red with anger. I'll just have to rip your damn eyes out. Naruto says through clenched teeth. You two stop it, you need to calm down and get along, Hinata starts to say as Toma begins to speak. Hinata-chan, it's better that you not interfere or it might get worse than it already is. Toma says in a nice voice that tries to lighten the mood but doesn't work. Toma looks to Naruto and sighs as he puts a hand on his head. Naruto, you don't want to do this, I mean you really don't want to do this. Like hell I don't. You know I like her now, back off Toma. Naruto yells. Hinata stares at Naruto for what he had said. He liked her. She was surprised and wondered if that was what he was trying to say earlier. Well then Naruto, you really think you're good enough to have Hinata? Show me then. Toma gets into a fighting stance. Dasara watches from the window and watches them closely, then looks to Hinata. Now you have to be confident, Hinata, this'll be another test for you, Dasara whispers as she watches the boys intently. Naruto readies himself and charges at Toma. Toma goes to evade but Naruto grabs his wrist and flings him into the ground. Toma then realized anger fueled speed for him as Naruto then tackled Toma before he could get up. Naruto went to go punch Toma in the face but 2 hands wrapped around the arm he had raised to pummel the boy who lay beneath him. Naruto-kun, stop it, Hinata whispers from behind him. She holds tight to his arm so he can't slip away. Naruto slowly looks up at Hinata, all anger faded from his face. She helps him to his feet and he stares down at the ground. Sorry, he whispers as Toma rises to his feet. It's okay Naruto, I know you really didn't mean it. Toma brushes himself off and turns to face them. He smiles as Hinata nods towards him. Toma starts inside and as soon as he disappears from sight, into the house, Hinata lets go of Naruto's arm. Naruto, is this what you were trying to tell me earlier? She whispers and he slowly nods his head yes. You're as shy as me, she whispers. Naruto, you don't realize it, but I've tried so many times to tell you that I like you, and your courage to stand up for me made me realize that you like me too. Really? He looks up at her and smiles when he sees her bright smile. Really? You see, I've tried and tried, but I could never do it. It was either you had eyes for only Sakura or that I was too afraid to say anything. She takes his hand gently and they both blush slightly. Naruto-kun, I really mean it when I say I like you. Thanks, Hina-chan, thank you for stopping me, he smiles happily. So, then you wouldn't mind being my girlfriend, would you? He whispers the question so she can only hear it. No, Naruto, I would love to be your girlfriend. She smiles as he hugs her tight. Today is going to be a good day, was all that was in her head now, but she was wrong. Dasara came out with Toma only 10 minutes later to find Hinata and Naruto sitting under the tree talking. Okay, now that I feel so much better, training will resume, since most of the day is gone already, though we'll head into technique training. Dasara says, and Naruto and Hinata stand. Now how you do this is you pick one techniques per day to work on. It's best to alternate through your techniques instead of doing one for more than one day in a row. Now what you do is you practice the technique and look at the faults of it and work on the areas you fault in, so needn't worry about being open. Now I'll be looking for faults in your techniques too, so don't think there is none unless I okay it. Dasara looks at them all. Now begin, she says, and they all spread out. Naruto began to work on the Rasengan. It took him about a year to make it so he could do it with one hand, and now he wanted to perfect it for his old man. He began the swirl in his hand as he looked around for any opponent as if he were in a fight. He held a kunai in one hand as the Rasengan swirled in the other. When it was ready, he charged at a tree and pummeled it with it. The charging rate is slow, I have to speed it up, he whispers as he begins to power up another. He put more and more chakra in at a time and it slowly begins to speed up, but the power begins to falter. The once shaped orb has now become an oval from the power consumption. Well, that won't help. Toma begins to work in secrecy in the shade of some trees. He never showed his partners this technique and he didn't plan to anytime soon. Dasara knew he was making his own technique and what it was like. He once used it on her and she ended up in bed for almost a week. He quickly did some hand signs. Dark arts, dragon's ceremony. He whispers as the ground around him begins to shift. His body begins to glow black. Almost there, you just need some more chakra and control Toma. Jinchuriki says in Toma's mind. Yeah, if only I could complete this, we wouldn't need to worry about any danger. I mean, you'd be out here to help us out if we needed it, and it would let you take a breath of fresh air other than through me. Toma sighs as the power disappears. But don't push yourself too much. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Don't worry, Jinchuriki, I won't overdo it, and you know that. Toma smiles at the thought of his demon worrying over him. His demon was unlike Naruto's. His was sealed in him to protect the demon and himself, not because the demon was terrorizing the village. Now let's try it again. Toma ran through the hand signs again and whispered the jutsu as the ground began to shake and his body lit up black yet again. The black began to seep out of his body and form a smoke shape, but it disappears yet again. Damn, I'm so close, he whispers as he keeps trying. Hinata knew nothing of what she was to do. She trained in the shade of a tree, but she had so many faults. Which one would she pick? She sighed as she thought of all the things she could work on. What would she do? Could she work on her Yuuken or maybe on the holy arts? Wait, she said not to train the same thing more than one day in a row. Holy arts was out of the question then. Then what could she do? Practice throwing weapons or even practice setting traps. Tsunade-sensei said that her healing ability was as good as it could get. She had that one perfect, but she was still stuck. She plopped down on the ground and sighed in defeat when she heard someone nearby. Could it be Dasara-sensei? She slowly got to her feet and activated the Byakugan. She slowly looked around only to find Sound Ninja. She began to panic inside her head, but she didn't show it as the enemy slowly began to approach. For now she would try to handle it on her own. Sasuke Uchiha knew Naruto had left the village when some sound scouts came back with information on who was leaving and who was entering Konoha. He knew nothing of their teacher except that Itachi had retreated from her, so he knew she was strong, but how strong was the question. Sasuke knew that he approaching Naruto's teammate and he believed she was the weakest. Hinata Hyuga in his eyes was always weak. Sasuke slowly approached with 5 sound ninja behind him. He told Orochimaru that he didn't need an escort, but as usual he didn't listen. The sound ninja who trailed behind him were inexperienced and he hated how they watched his every move. How could he accomplish what he wanted if they were watching him at all times? Sasuke sighed as their eyes shifted to the enemy who stood before them ready to fight. Well, Hyuga, nice to see you again. How is that cousin of yours doing after the fight in the rice country? Sasuke asks. The only reaction he receives is the opponent shifting from anger and the sound ninja now surrounding them. No hellos. Come on, where are your manners? I have none towards missing nins. She growls. The Anbu will find you sooner or later, just you wait. And if they do find me, will they be able to catch me? I am the student of Orochimaru, the Sannin who beat the third Hokage of the village hidden in leaves. I'm not going to fall that easily, and if you think I will, you're very naive. Sasuke smirks as the sound ninja begin to close in on Hinata. And now Hinata, you'll S and then I'll leave to attack Naruto. You won't get past me. I'll stop you or S trying. She begins to make the 8 gentle palms trigram. All 6 ninjas charge at Hinata, 3 of them deflect immediately, flying through trees or into the ground. The other 3 charge at her, 2 of them deflect but 1 of them make it past the barrier slowly. She goes to stop them from getting in but they punch her and send her flying into the ground. She slowly gets up to her feet but stops when Sasuke's foot pushes her back down into a laying position. Little Hyuga, as your father told you, you're pathetic. You should have never become a shinobi in the first place. You're not worth anyone's time. He laughs as she struggles to get free but he keeps his foot firmly on her stomach. You're wrong. She screams, I am worth something to someone. It may not be my father, but at least I'm worth something to one person. She keeps struggling as he presses harder. You're really pathetic, you know that. And now I'll end your life. He smirks as he unsheaths his sword and points it at her. Ready to S Hyuga. I'm not going to S that easily. She quickly goes to puncture his ankle with her chakra but he jumps back before she can. She quickly gets to her feet as the last sound shinobi runs at her. She evades his attack with the kunai knife and shoves her fingers into his shoulder blade as his arm becomes disabled. Come on Sasuke, I can take you. Hinata readies herself by getting in her Uroken stance. Sasuke smirks. He charges at her, he dodges her hand from the left and from the right and he lodges his sword in her shoulder. She cries out and shoves him back. He holds his sword tight so it yanks out of her as he's shoved back. She puts a hand over her wound but prepares herself again when she hears something in the trees. Back off Uchiha or I'll K you like I almost did your brother. Dasara jumps down in front of Hinata. Hinata, hurry to the east, she whispers. Quote, so you're the one who was close to K my brother, he says and prepares himself for whatever she may do. I would have K him if he wouldn't have run away. If you stay here boy I'll K you like I almost did him, so back off. Dasara growls. Well then, I'll hope to see you later. Sasuke disappears into the woods as Dasara hurries off after Hinata towards Naruto and Toma. Hinata collapsed as she finally entered the field Toma had been training in. Toma quickly turned to the thud she made to find her laying on her side holding her shoulder tight. Hinata, he yells as he hurries to her side. He gently lifts her from the ground and runs off towards where Naruto had been training. He ran swiftly as the trees passed by in flashes. He held her tight and close so she wouldn't get cold. He found Naruto training on the Rasengan as he entered the small clearing. A stream was nearby and shade from many trees. Naruto. Toma yells as he lands behind the panting boy and runs towards him. Naruto turns to the voice that called his name and saw his comrade carrying his injured lover. Naruto hurried over to them, gently taking Hinata from Toma and laying her down. What happened? Naruto looked up at Toma then looked back down at Hinata. Her eyes were open slightly but she saw nothing. It was Sasuke. Dasara-sensei held him back, as I ran away. She whispers in pain. Naruto's eyes light up with anger as he watches Hinata struggle to stay awake. Toma, can you do anything to help her? Naruto asks quickly only to have Toma shake his head in disappointment. Hinata's the healer, not me. I know nothing of the art. I may know the holy arts but my healing hasn't been working at all. Toma looks from Hinata to Naruto. But we should protect her for now since we have company. Toma gets to his feet as Naruto does. They both turn to face the 10 sound ninjas and an angered Kabuto. Kabuto. Naruto growls as Kabuto smirks. Well Naruto, you've grown so much in the little time that I haven't seen you. Kabuto laughs, I see Sasuke couldn't K the girl, but the wound is fatal enough. Kabuto takes out a ninja info card. I have nothing of your friend Naruto, that's unfortunate. You'll less this time bastard. Naruto yells. Toma puts a hand on Naruto's shoulder so Naruto looks back at him. Naruto, since you know more of this guy you take him on, I'll protect Hinata-chan for you. Thanks Toma. Naruto smiles and looks back at Kabuto. Naruto cracks his neck and knuckles as he smirks. I'll beat the S out of you for Sasuke's sake, I mean you get to take his punishment for him for now. Naruto began to think of all the things he would do to Sasuke when he got ahead of him. He faced Kabuto, an unusual gleam in his eyes. Naruto thought of all the things Kabuto deserved, death being one of them. Naruto readied himself as Kabuto had made the sound ninja spread out and surround the perimeter, letting no one pass as their order, and letting no one escape. Toma watched as the ninja moved, Hinata resting on his back out of harm's way. Kabuto, this time you won't escape. Naruto growls. Kabuto laughs as the young Chunin threatens him. You think you can do anything about what I've done, Naruto? You couldn't even help the Hyuga, let alone K me. Kabuto pushes his glasses up with his index finger. I'll K you, Naruto, before you can touch me. You want to bet? Naruto smirks as Kabuto frowns. What? Kabuto says as Naruto laughs. You've already lost, Kabuto, you overconfident bastard, Naruto growls. His eyes are now dark B-red and have black S in the middle with the long nails. I'll K you here and now. He growls, his voice is deeper and darker as Kyuubi's chakra begins to flow out of his body. Toma watches closely, knowing that he may have to step in. I couldn't have lost already, I mean I haven't begun fighting Kyuubi, you haven't K me yet. Kabuto readies some senbon as Naruto takes a step forward. I've already made the first blow, Naruto grins sinisterly. The Naruto he was talking to disappears, symbolizing that it was a clone as the real one shoves yet another kunai into Kabuto's thigh as Kabuto quickly kicks him off. How the hell did you do that? Kabuto asks. Kyuubi smirks. I never tell my secrets, Kyuubi smirks. To anyone. Well then I'll just have to take them out of you. Kabuto charges at Naruto, but Naruto evades and a red tail of chakra trips Kabuto while a second tail hits him into a tree. Two demon tails unlocked, Naruto growls as he stands there with the chakra molding around him and the two tails whipping violently around him, blocking off all routes to his body. Kabuto gets up and pulls out his senbon. But I have information on Orochimaru, would you really K a valuable source? Kabuto smirks as Naruto pulls his foot up slightly. Kabuto goes to get away but Naruto pounds his foot onto Kabuto's waist. You won't be escaping this time, Naruto growls, you'll tell me what I want in return for your quick and painful death, instead of a slow agonizing one. I won't tell you anything, Kabuto groans as Naruto presses harder than before. Fine, I'll tell you. Kabuto grunts as Naruto smirks. When will Orochimaru try to take Sasuke's body? Naruto asks as Kabuto slowly begins to respond. 2 full moons from now, Kabuto whispers as Naruto presses harder. The 10-sound ninja begin to charge at Naruto, but his 2 tails deflect the enemy by extending and whipping like crazy. It'll be at sundown, Kabuto whispers. Well then I have no use for you now, Naruto smirks. The chakra disappears as Naruto looks to Hinata and Toma. Toma's holding Hinata still as they see Dasara approach them. Naruto hurries over to Hinata and Toma and gently takes Hinata from Toma's back and lays her on the ground. Dasara hurries over to them. The Uchiha ran away, but I don't think we need to worry about him for a while, Dasara says as she kneels next to Hinata. UK that sound ninja. He had it coming, Naruto whispers, he told me of when Orochimaru will be taking Sasuke's body. I need to send a message to Tsunade Bar-chan. Naruto says as he watches Dasara heal Hinata's shoulder slowly. She'll be okay, sensei. She'll be fine, but for now we must retreat. After we send the letter tomorrow then we'll leave and relocate to another area where no one will know where we are. Dasara whispers. Yeah, but wouldn't it be better if he sent the letter tonight? Toma asks as Naruto lifts Hinata up on his back. You're right, Toma, well let's get out of here, Dasara says as they run off towards the village. Tsunade sat in her office as she read the letter from Naruto about Sasuke. Kakashi and Jiraiya sit in the seats in front of her desk as she examines the report so far. They're alright for now, Kabuto's and they have the time of the transfer to Sasuke's body, she says as she sets the letter down. Jiraiya smiles as Kakashi takes the letter and reads it. Well, at least Naruto's learning something. I mean, for once he wrote the letter. Jiraiya laughs as Kakashi hands him the letter. What will we do about the Sasuke situation? Kakashi asks soon as Jiraiya places the letter on her desk. We'll send some Anbu scouts to scout the spot for the ceremony, then plan around it. But for now we'll do nothing but train people for this specific mission. We have only 2 years and a few months to prepare. She looks to Jiraiya. Contact the Sand Village. Send Shikamaru to the village and report to Temari, Tsunade says as she turns away from them. They leave her in silence as she begins to think for herself. This will be the final act. Sasuke Uchiha, Orochimaru, she whispers as she stares off over Konoha, who is unaware of what is about to happen. Training started early the following morning. Toma and Naruto woke before dawn and did their 10 laps around the village to prepare for the trip in the morning. Naruto knew that the training would become intense since they now knew who was tracking them. Naruto thought of how Kabuto had yesterday and how the fox had come out. He didn't care since it got the work done, but he wished it wasn't ended so quickly. He had wished that he could have the sound ninja, but for some reason he ended it quickly. Maybe it was because his voice disgusted the fox. Toma had been quiet since they sent the letter last night, waiting for the response that should be there shortly. Naruto smiled at Toma as he passed him on the 10th lap. Speed it up, Toma, or I'll beat you. Naruto yells. He runs faster as Toma begins to speed up. Yeah, right. Like I'd let you win. Toma laughs as he passes Naruto without any effort. You'll never beat me. I'm faster, smarter, and stronger than you, and you know it. Toma smiles. He had grown attached to the boy that was now his partner. Naruto had grown more of a brother though. He was like Toma, and that made Toma feel comfortable around him. Naruto had reminded him of himself before his family was joyful even though you're a demon vessel. Well, Naruto, what do you think your village will say? Toma asked as he slowly came to a stop in front of the house that Dasara and Hinata were sleeping in. Tsunade Bar-chan will definitely act, don't you worry about that. The pervy sage will probably be scouting for information while Kakashi-sensei is training people for the event, but I don't know if that's all. I mean, they could do more than that, like prepare the villages for war or something like that. I hope so. I mean, we can't fight all of them on our own. At least I don't think we can fight both the Akatsuki and the Sound at once. Toma looks at Naruto, who's grinning. And you think we can? Of course I do. I mean, we have 2 years to prepare and get strong to wipe out the bastards. We'll be the major attack squad when it comes to the attack. At least I plan on being it. The fox said he'd help, and that makes our odds even better. Naruto smiles. God, you're hopeless. Toma sighs and shakes his head. But being hopelessly stubborn and overconfident may be a good thing. Toma smiles as Naruto strikes a victory pose. We'll beat those S-bags senseless. And I'll show Sakura-chan that Sasuke isn't worth it. Naruto cheers and jumps up and down. Toma sighs as the young Chunin does this. Wow, what a mess I've gotten myself into. Toma sighs as the boy before him gives him a wide grin. When Dasara woke, the boys were already training with their physical exercises outside down in the backyard. She smiled at them and looked back at the sleeping Hinata. Dasara didn't care that she lost since she had done good against the younger Uchiha. Hinata had never fought fully before, but yesterday she had for the first time. Dasara smiled at her as she went outside to join the boys. She walked out into the sunlight and stretched, but the boys didn't notice whatsoever until she spoke. You two are up pretty early. She smiles as they both look at her while continuing their push-ups. Good morning, Dasara-sensei. Toma smiles as Naruto does also. Yeah, morning. Naruto smiles. They keep doing their physical activities as Dasara watches them closely. How's Hinata-chan doing, sensei? Toma asks as they finally stops and get to their feet and face her. She's fine, don't worry about her, she'll be up and about soon. Dasara smiles at the concerned faces, which makes them relax. Now back to training, one-on-one, okay. Winner gets to fight me. She smirks as Naruto's face lights up in delight, but Toma just stands there knowing she could beat both of their asses at once. How about not? Toma folds his arms across his chest as Naruto looks to him. Why not? Naruto asks. Because we should do it 2-on-1. I mean, me and Naruto versus you, Dasara-sensei. Toma says. Yeah, I guess we can do it that way. Dasara whispers. Okay then, bring it on you two. Let's see how good your teamwork skills are. They left the village that night after receiving the letter from the village about what would happen, what the team should do. Naruto was happy when Neji's report was included and he couldn't wait to show the sleeping Hinata what her cousin wrote to her alone. Of course Naruto wasn't supposed to read it, but he did anyway, knowing that she wouldn't care if he did. Dasara told them the plans after they read the letter. Soon had wished them to train for the next 2 years and get stronger. Then after the time period they were to return to Konoha and help train others for a few months, then the strike would come to pass. Naruto thought of this and was mad that they had no choice. Dasara only said that it was his deed to obey his superiors, that it was every shinobi's deed. Toma had agreed with her on this and Naruto was outnumbered. That's still stupid. Naruto mumbles as he holds tight to the asleep shinobi on his back. Deal, Naruto, you have no say in these types of things for a reason. Dasara says back at the boy who just stuck his tongue out at her in response. She laughed as Naruto shook his head no frantically. Fine then, if you want to be Hokage you need to learn how to obey the rules of the shinobi and show the people you can follow them yourself. Dasara says and looks ahead. I think she's off her rocker. Naruto whispers to Toma. No, she just follows what she's told. Only when she trusts the person. She trusts your Hokage, so she'll follow the orders. Toma whispers back to him. That's still no excuse for what she said. I mean, people don't have a say. That's uncool. Deal, it's life for us and you should know that by now. Toma whispers. Okay you guys, we'll be going to the land of the sand first to train you in the wind arts and in the hot conditions. Dasara said back at them without looking at them. No arguing, you'll also be training with the Kazekage there and his siblings for evasive strategies and endurance training. Cool. I get to train with Gaara. Naruto cheers. Who's Gaara? Toma asks Naruto and Naruto looks to him. Gaara's like us, he has Shukaku in him, and he's the Kazekage. I believe Temari and Kankuro is training with us too then. But Dasara-sensei, didn't Tsunade-chan say that Shikamaru would be there? Naruto asks. Yeah, Shikamaru Nara should be there. Dasara says. You should be lucky that you know people there, Naruto. You'll be considered an outcast like the Kazekage if they knew. But they don't, so I don't need to worry. Naruto smiles. I can't believe they sent Shika though. I mean, he's dating Temari, she might be a distraction. Naruto thinks for a moment. Don't worry about them, Naruto. Unlike you, Nara knows how to do his missions right when he's told and not to fuss about it. Dasara says. Toma laughs lightly and covers his mouth to stop it, but he doesn't stop. Hey, that's not funny. Naruto yells. Toma, be quiet. Naruto stops when Dasara whacks him on the head to shut him up. You forget someone is sleeping. Dasara hisses as Naruto then realizes Hinata on his back. Sorry. Naruto whispers and bows his head. Now it should only take 3 more days and as we go you'll train. Dasara says as she folds her arms across her chest and looks ahead. Naruto looks up at Toma, who had finally stopped laughing. Toma smiles and points at Dasara, who gives him a glare over her shoulder, and he stops and straightens up. Gaara had been Kazekage for a while now and he had students like any other shinobi, but he had never taught people his own age. He thought of the letter he, Temari, and Kankuro had received about Naruto and his group coming to the sand to train with him and his siblings. Gaara was a little happy when his only true friend was coming, but he didn't understand what he could teach the boy who had defeated him. Gaara smiled to himself as he, Temari and Kankuro stood at the gates. In the distance he could see the young blonde and his friends. He studied his companions closely, recognizing the Hyuga walking next to Naruto. He had been told about the other boy and about him being like him and Naruto, but he knew nothing of the teacher who walked behind them. When Naruto recognized the 3 at the gate, he waved and smiled brightly. This was the first time he had seen him since the meeting with the sand a year ago, and he missed them greatly. As they stood in front of the sand trio, Temari smiled as Hinata did the same. It's good to see you, Uzumaki. Gaara whispered as Naruto gave him a wide grin. You too, Gaara, so what have you been up to? The blonde smiled at his friend. He still looked back on when Gaara had asked to be his friend. Naruto looked back at that moment as a turning point in his life. He had found someone like him. I've been fine, Uzumaki-san, Gaara whispers and folds his arms across his chest. Temari smiled at this. Her brother felt uncomfortable with the blonde and he had never showed it before. So, Shikamaru didn't say when you were coming, but I guess he guessed right. Temari smiled as she led them into the village hidden in the sand. You didn't introduce us yet to your friends Uzumaki, Kankuro whispers to Naruto. Kankuro laughed lightly when Naruto stiffened and let out a deep sigh. Man, I hate doing introductions. Naruto sighs and stops and faces the group. Okay. Temari, Kankuro, and Gaara meet my team. Naruto pointed to them as he spoke. My sensei, Dasara, my new teammate, Toma, and you should remember Hinata-chan. Naruto smiles at the sand trio. Who happens to be my girlfriend. Naruto pulls Hinata close with one arm and she blushes furiously. Temari smiles warmly at this action. Can't believe you finally noticed that she liked you. I mean, it took you forever. I didn't think it'd ever happen. Temari smirked when the blonde began to blush. Kankuro cleared his throat at this comment, so they stopped. Well, on to the training, Kankuro said as they all turned to look at him. Gaara will work with you later on due to his duties as Kazekage right now. But first Temari will give you some ground training and some weather training. I will do the same. I will take the guys while Hinata goes with Temari. He looks to Dasara. If you'd like to join them, you're more than welcome to. Alright, I might do that after I visit an old friend. Dasara shrugs and walks off into Suna. Is she always like that? Temari whispers to Hinata. Hi, she just does things her way instead of others, but she is still very strong. You have to be careful around her. Hinata whispers back. Naruto looks at them while lifting a brow, wondering what they might be talking about. Before Naruto could say goodbye to Hinata, she was dragged off by Temari, and that was the last time he saw her that day. Kankuro was a very hard teacher. Naruto had never realized that he could be so strict, let alone so mean and gruesome. First they went into a real rocky and sandy area in Suna's northern district. Kankuro had made them remove everything but their pants and shoes. Toma knew that he'd probably end up with a sunburn by the end of this, but it was worse than he imagined. They learned how to escape quicksand by using the same technique that was used to float on top of water. After that was over, however, they began to work on battling on sand. It was almost as hard as it was battling on water, but it got worse as the rocks came into the picture. What do you mean we have to switch chakra levels? Naruto asked Kankuro as Naruto walked across to him on top of the sand. I mean that there will be rocks in the ground too, and they require two different amounts of chakra. First you have the chakra required to walk on the sand, second you have the chakra required to walk on top of the rocks. Do you understand? Kankuro asked them both. Wait, we have to do this while we're fighting? Naruto asks. At first we'll just work on the two levels, but yes, you will have to fight with changing the levels. The best way to do this is to teach your body how to switch on its own, but we'll work on that later too. Kankuro said as the two sighed. Should be easy enough to get the levels, but memorizing them. That might be a little difficult than you think, Thomas said as he walked on a rock, attaching his feet to it in the process. Muscle memory is one thing a shinobi needs. Kankuro states, every ninja needs it for self-defense and also for the offense. Chakra memory on the other hand, it's the same thing. You can use your chakra to distinguish what's going on around you and how much chakra is needed. Not only that it does this, it also knows when you need a certain amount of chakra depending on the task. Still, I don't think we'll ever use the whole switching thing between rocks and sand much, so why learn it? Why even memorize it? Naruto asked Kankuro. After he had asked, Kankuro sighed and shook his head. Wow, I've never heard you talk like that before, Naruto says, surprised. Well, if you think it's that important, then I guess I can learn it. He smiles when Toma shakes his head yes. Well then you two, let's get started. Kankuro leads them to a new area to train. Temari knew that Hinata was shy, but she never knew that she was such a hard worker. As the day progressed, Hinata had already learned chakra memory and she could fight well on the sand. During her training, Temari had them just wear some short shorts and a small tank top to get her used to the weather. Temari was surprised when Hinata learned all the things they were to do for the next 4 days, and yet she still asked for more training. Temari-san, can we work on some more things? Hinata asked the blonde Kuniaki in front of her. Don't worry. So did you know that I trained with your cousin Neji? Temari asked, only to get a confused yet surprised look from the younger Kuniaki. No, I didn't. Cousin Neji never spoke of training here in Suna. Hinata said as Temari smiled. Well, he did actually. He trained on the same things you're training on now actually. But I learned about your Byakugan and all your family's techniques during that time also. I can help you learn how to use the sand to make you faster in your Yuokan shot. I can make the sand carry you and protect you while you activate your Byakugan. Temari smiled when Hinata's eyes lit up with happiness and enthusiasm. Oh please Temari-san, can you teach me? Hinata asked as Temari smiled. We start tomorrow at dawn Hinata. You should go get some rest, you deserve it. Temari says as she picks up her fan and her clothes. You know where you're staying, right? Hi Temari-san. She hurries and picks up her clothes. She quickly runs off and into the big town of Suna. Dosara sighed as she roamed the streets of Suna thinking about what happened the last time she was here and what happened to her father as she approached the graveyard. She hadn't visited in almost 7 years and she knew his spirit would be angry with her, for sure. Her memories of her family were all taken away by her father since she had a hard life till she lived with him, being moved from family to family, but the war against Suna had killed him. He was skilled in every jutsu and left them all to her when She sighed as she stopped in front of a gravestone with the name and details gone from years of wear and tear from the sand and heat. Hey old man, sorry I haven't visited in so long. I've been really busy with my new students and with all those things you left me with. She kneels in front of the grave and gently rests her hand on it. You left me too many of your bills to pay. You left your village with nothing but a small memory, and you left me and Toma alone to figure out how to use your damn jutsus without an instruction manual or anything, which I still think is screwed up. She sighs and sits down on the sand. I picked up 2 new students from Konoha. They're really strong when they want to be, she whispers and bows her head slightly. Naruto is the boy, he's got QB in him, and the girl is Hinata. She's the heiress to the Hyuga clan, she whispers and wraps her arms around her legs as she pulls them up to her chest. Toma's grown into a fine young man, he can do the holy arts and he can almost do the dark arts summoning jutsu you left for him. She looks up to the sky. You know, you're kinda lucky, I mean, you get to stay under this beautiful sky forever while everyone else parties with you in heaven. You're really lucky since you don't have to deal with war anymore or pain. Dosara looks to the ground and laughs lightly, but sadly. Why do you come here? A voice asks behind her. Because it's only right to visit my father when I can, Dosara whispers as she recognizes the voice. But I understand if you don't visit your father, I mean he showed you nothing of love or even life, only hatred, she whispers as Gaara walks out of the dark. Your father was strong, wasn't he? Gaara asks, his arms folded across his chest as he watches Dosara carefully. Yes, he was very strong, he was like you until he found my mother and had me, but he hated what happened so he joined the war. Someone came my mother and took me away from him. He had a demon in him, like Shukaku. Then he was having hardships also, Gaara whispered. Yes, but when he found me all of them disappeared completely. They were nothing compared to his passion for me. He taught me everything, so in a sense, I was like his angel and savior. Well then, could you help me? Gaara asked as he looked away. Naruto has helped me warm up more and more to the people, but Shukaku gets in the way. Do you know how to control him? Yes, I'm to teach Naruto how to also, but Toma already know how to control his demon. I'd be glad to help you, Gaara. It might be fun having you and Naruto learning the same thing together. It might help. Dosara gets to her feet and bows to the gravestone. I hope to visit shortly, she whispers and walks away, leaving Gaara alone in the graveyard. Maybe this will help, he whispers. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.